My man, good morning. This is Mike Cameron.
Mike Cameron on the line. See, we talked about it before. We're going to have Mike Cameron on. We're going to talk about the NL East. But then the Odell Beckham thing came on, Mike. And, we started talking about that just being some New Yorkers. But, welcome to the show. We're so happy to have you. We're looking forward to you all week. And for the rest of you guys listening, we'll get back to the Odell and Giants later. We're on until noon o'clock. So over the Top Sports Radio, Mike Cameron on. Thank you so much for joining us. How have you been?
I'm good, man. I saw this Odell Beckham thing, too, man. Guys got to watch out these days.
I mean, you were a pro athlete, and you were around. I'm sure a ton of different stuff that stays behind closed doors. But now with social media and with people taking videos with their phones, and players got to be a lot more careful than maybe even in your day because everything seems to get out there now. You can't really hide anything.
Yeah, definitely, man. I agree with that because. I got a kid that's playing professional sports, so it's a different time. I mean, the agendas are different. Everything is different now. So guys got to be more on their P's and Q's and watch out because people they don't care about you no more. They'll do anything. They'll do whatever. So if they can embarrass you, they will. If they can do something else, they'll do that too. So just got to be more in tune to what's going on. Your fun can't be as fun as it used to be, and you got to be aware of all the situations now because it can affect a lot of things, and who knows how this may be able to affect Odell Beckham. I mean, he's a great player, but then you got the people that want to give you long-term security. Questioning your off-field habits now just because you may or may not been in the premise or something. So it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, Mike, we're seeing a different era here with baseball and free agency. What's your take on free agency? And, there's still so many talented players out there not getting the contracts they thought they were going to get. What's your opinion on that?
It's difficult, man. It's difficult. Obviously, the media has changed the time. I mean, not the media, but the management has changed the times of. They're not paying guys for what they used to do no more. They're paying guys what they can see over the next 5 to 6, 7, 8 years or whatever. So, I guess. And if you're like the numbers seem to go down every year. Like if you're 30, you're old now. So. It's definitely different times, so you got to try to make sure that you understand that going into the opportunities that you're taking, and if you're going to try to get top dollar, man, you got to make sure you're young, strong, and gifted, and able to go out and be productive over the course of that span because it's different times. The computers are writing everything now, so the people are just punching in the numbers, and I guess it's a different game for the GMs and all these guys or whatever. So, I see it, and it looks like they're trying to take a stand on, dishing out 9, 10-year deals, 7-year deals or whatever. So it's just a different time. It's very unfortunate. We got some very, very good players out there that's still on the market. Considering it's March 10th already, I would be probably have ulcers by now if I wouldn't be signed, because it's, because you want to get settled. Your body is telling you it's time to go to work, and now no matter how you look at it, you're going to be behind a little bit. So, especially if you're going to a new ball club.
Mike, when you were with the Mets, just a quick story for you. I had front row seats right on top of the dugout. You're coming off the field, and every inning you either threw a ball out if you had caught it, you threw out your sweatbands, and you actually threw out your bat at the end of the game. I had a hold of your bat, and so did a little kid, and I didn't want to be that guy that ripped the bat from a little kid, so I just let it go. Before the game, you were always signing autographs. Is that something that you took pride in? Because it was very noticeable as a Met fan that you were always out there signing, interacting with the fans. Is that something that you really took pride in?
Yeah, I always try to do that, man. I was taught a long time ago that from old Mr. Harrison, Jerry Harrison's father, and their grandfather told me, man, like don't although the people are fanatics, and they can kind of rub you up sometimes, but the one thing you can always do is you don't wear the suit all the time, so you have to be able to be amongst the people to allow them to feel comfortable, with your situation. I've always tried to be a people's person. Sometimes they can come back and bite you in the butt, but at the same time, the game is about the fans, obviously, and the players who play it have to be taking into consideration that, you may have an impact on a kid, 10, 15 years from now just by something that you have signed for them. They root for you. Baseball is totally different than any other sport because it's almost like a love story because you get a chance to love them every day. Every day. It's an everyday thing. There's no other sport that allows you to do that. And I think now, with the way the game is, you can do it more on a social media trend or whatever. So, as a player and a person, the more people you can actually see face to face, put your hands on, do something for them or whatever else, they may have a better understanding of you as a person opposed to the baseball player in a sense. So, we all are put up on this pedestal as athletes, as me as a former athlete, and being able to connect different groups and different types of people. And what more way to do that to try to put a smile on someone's face, man? I thought that's what it was all about. I've always kind of took pride in that whenever I could, because I don't know how much some guys that work signatures are worth more than others, but it's sometimes when you do something for somebody, it kind of wears on their soul. And it's probably worth more than money. I've actually had the experience of that coming back to me later on in life.
Well, you could even see there because Mike remembered that story from you, and he didn't even get anything. So, even if, it left an impression on him a lot more than, what an autograph or something might be worth. And I'm sure that young kid that got the bat, he'll never forget Mike Cameron and probably one of his favorite players of all time at this point. So, that's just a great job by you. So, you're right. It definitely leaves an impression.
Yeah, definitely, man. I always kind of looked at it like that. I get people now saying, man, you gave me this way back in like 1999. I got people from Winterball send me stuff. It's like, wow, that's, and then it just bring back those memories, stuff like that. So it's always a good experience, man. Great memory experience also, when you touch people and everything. I mean, it may dilute the signature itself when you just sign it or whatever, but hey, man, it's only a signature. I'm not trying to look to get no money out of it or anything like that. It's what I am, it's who I am, and that's the way it is.
Mike, what was your favorite moment as a big league player? You hit 4 home runs in a game. That's a rare accolade, and I think that's remarkable. If you could take us back to that day, and where does that stand on your all-time favorite moment as an MLB player?
I guess it's part of, memorable-wise, it kind of sticks out more than others because it coincides with the history of the game. And that day, it was special for me. It was special for me because I got a chance to do it against my old manager and my old ballpark, which I practically tried to take on that whole team myself every time I played against them because of the way everything transpired and the way I was traded from the Chicago White Sox. So I live with that, to this day, to always say that, I got traded while I was in winter ball and nobody told me about it. And I took it to heart, and I made sure I try to make their life as miserable as possible every time I played against them. And I'm dead serious. I lived with that for a long time, man, and it took me a while to get over it. And not until I got a chance to be with Jerry Emanuel in 2005, him as my first base coach, that we kind of wiped away that clean slate and kind of went with it. I truly didn't think that he understood what he was turning me into when some of the things that were taking place when I was with the White Sox. It was my second full season in the big league, and I struggled mightily. I'm grateful that he kept me there to go through those type of things, and but it pushed me, into an animal to be able to come back. And a couple of years later, because I got traded to Cincinnati, and then I again traded Ken Griffey Jr. So, I was in disarray, man. I was in disarray for like a couple of years and trying to get my career lined up, or myself lined up in the type of player that I was capable of being. And every time, and I got back into the American League, and I marked my calendars every time I was going against the White Sox. I didn't care if it was a spring training game. So that was the way.
You sure did.
That was my fuel. But on May 2nd, 2002 or whatever, it was kind of early in the season, so it was kind of cool there, and I knew we were going to Chicago. It was at the end of April that I kind of, like the last week I had been struggling, knowing that I needed to get myself together going into Chicago. We were going to Chicago, New York, I think, coming from Seattle. So maybe another team after that, but I think it was Chicago, New York was our road trip. And we went there, man, and I had a couple good games, those first two games. And the last getaway day, it was ironic that my buddy James Baldwin, who we came up together through the White Sox system, was pitching against them, the White Sox. And, man, and I think Brett Boone had been struggling just a little bit with this last week. We've kind of been in a little bit of a funk going into the first part of May, and we want to get off on a good start, considering we playing against the White Sox, who were really good, and also the New York Yankees. And we knew we had to come in, after the last couple of years that we kind of gotten there and then, dropped the ball, losing it before we get to the playoffs or whatever. Or one time, 2002, we lost. We didn't make it in because of the Angels won 100 games and Oakland A's won 100 games. But other than that, man, we knew we were coming into something. That day, we ended up coming in there. We had already won the series, I think. And basically, we got off to a good start against rookie John Ross. And Booney hit a home run. I hit a homer. We had like a little side bet going on before the game started. And basically, we ended up batting around in that same inning. And I hit another home run in the first inning. So I had 2 home runs already. So I was good already. I mean, it was already a good day from the start. And, I just said that, we got a lot of game to play, man, and my bats were even better. I remember, I just remember working with – we didn't even take BP on the field because it was kind of cold out there, and we hit in the cage. I remember hitting with Lee Elia and Edgar, and I had been using his bat for about the last couple of weeks, and I kept that bat and just went on and had a great day, man. I had 3 home runs in 3 innings, and, it was like one of those days, like, how much can you get today? And I wasn't looking. I know
Edgar Martinez get your vote for the Hall of Fame?
No doubt about it. it wouldn't even have to be about the bat, but he did give me a coattail ride to the Hall of Fame using his bat, and then right in the shadows of Griffey, So it was a special day, man. I hit those 4 homers that day, and still had more at bats to go in the game, so I had a chance to eliminate all the history of the home runs in a game in one game because I had 4 home runs in like 5 innings, and so it was crazy. It just didn't feel like it. Even the people that were there, were actually something that I always felt like I never got there. They gave me a standing ovation. And to top off that whole day, I ended up robbing a grand slam from Maglio. So it was good on both ends that day, man. It was a special day. And I don't think I slept because we were going to New York. I didn't sleep because I wanted to see myself on ESPN as much as possible the next day or whatever.
You had a hell of a week that day.
Oh, no doubt about it. I was in the home run leaders for the first time in my life, I think, for about a good week and a half, and all of a sudden I thought I was just home run hitter, and that was going to be the year I was going to hit 40 home runs or whatever, and it just doesn't work like that. It was one of those days, man, where everything was perfect in a sense, and where you, as a hitter, you can get the ball up in the air. You know, obviously it's hard to hit 4 home runs in a batting practice, back to back to back. But to do it in the game, man, I ain't gonna lie, I was on cloud 9, and I understood what it meant. I understood the history behind it and the people that came before me that has done that. So that was one of the most, I guess, things that stick out and the most memorable part of being, you know, in that club and everything. And it hadn't been done since 1958 by Rocky Colavito when I did it. And only 12 players in the history of the game had done it before me. So obviously it was a very big feat. And, you know, I forever cherish it, and a lot of people remember me by that. But, you know, I had some more memorable moments, more so than just those 4 homers in that one game.
And you brought up how, you know, you were traded for Ken Griffey Jr., you also traded for Paul Konerko, some pretty good players, and your son was in the Justin Verlander deal. Did you talk to your son at all when he was traded for a guy like Verlander about channeling that, you know, and you're traded for a star like that, you know, what that means and how you can channel that and kind of use it as motivation going forward? Now he's in the Tigers organization.
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. He was upset, you know. He didn't understand. I never got traded in my league, so I didn't understand what he was going through. But the chirping, the talking had been going on for pretty much for a couple of months. And, you know, I had been watching. I remember laying on the couch and watching it, and it came across the bottom of the screen. And they had just finished their game. I actually got through listening or looking at their game. They were on the road, and I think he was maybe in Peoria or somewhere. And he had started to play well, really well, which benefited him at that time because, you know, I guess him being hurt and struggling the previous year before kind of lessened his value, so to speak, or whatever they want to call it, you know. But you know, with him being traded, he was upset. He didn't know what to expect. I said, son, do you want to play in the big leagues or do you want to play for the Houston Astros? And so once I got that to, you know, incorporate in his mind and get him to understand that this is your door, this is your opportunity right here, because Detroit is in reset mode. You know, they're giving guys the opportunity, and they're willing to give you a, you know, trade their best pitcher over the last 8, 9, 10 years maybe from Detroit to Houston to give you an opportunity to allow you to try to achieve your dreams, and you have to take advantage of this and look at it like that. Now you understand that it's a business, but your joy don't come from it being a business. Your joy comes from you wanting the opportunity to play in the big leagues. And so let's take it and run with it. And he's done a good job of that, man. He's kind of got his sights set on doing that and giving himself the best opportunity to for that to possibly happen. So he's going to start down in Lakeland, and hopefully, you know, he's out of the cold weather, so there's a good opportunity to get off to a good start. Maybe end up in Double-A, and we know that once you go to Double-A, anything can happen. Because it happens for me like that. So.
Mike, as a Gold Glove outfielder, would you rather rob the game-winning home run or hit a walk-off home run?
Oh, no doubt about it. I'd rather hit it out the ballpark. People remember that more than anything else. I've had a few of those too. So it's a great feeling. I've been involved in a lot of them, from the greatest, you know, from the A-Rod to Big Papi to Edgar to Mike Piazza to everyone. It's always a joyous feeling to end the game with your bat, you know, because we know how difficult it is to get that thing in the air, unless you're obviously, you know, it seems like Manny could do that at any given day or whatever. So, you know, Barry Bonds, those guys seem like they had that in their bag. If you pitched to them, you were going to get beat. But obviously, it is to hit a ball over the fence, to do it is definitely a amazing feeling. And I'm sure, you know, with me and the glove, I cherish that thing as much as I do, you know, with the bat. But there's a more of a celebration when a guy does it with the bat.
And we're speaking with Mike Cameron. Mike, again, thank you for joining us. Who's somebody in today's game that you really enjoy watching? You really respect their game. I mean, you with the Gold Gloves, is there any outfielder that jumps out at you in today's game and you're like, wow?
Yeah, the young guy, young buck, man, over in Minnesota. This dude is, he is special. He's special out there with his glove, and when you got a defender like Byron Buxley, man, you can change the game in many facets. He reminds me a lot of myself and Andrew Jones, because not only can he defend the in outfield, like in the outfield, he can go beyond the fence to do it also, and that's a tribute to his talent, but also understanding his value and playing in Minnesota with that big ballpark. It definitely helps him a lot, and it helped their team's defense a whole lot.
Mike, and just a couple more, if you have the time before we let you go here. On Twitter, we wrote the other day that Jim Bowden had reported that the Pirates are not going to let Gregory Polanco run this year, and you wrote that was stupid. I agree with you. Rob agrees with you. Vinny agrees with you. Can you just speak on that? I mean, they're taking away one of this kid's tools from his belt here.
Yeah, I see. They protect him so much now, and I think that instead of putting the guy in a position to say, "Oh, we don't want you to do this because you're going to get hurt." No, when you're on the baseball field, you want to use every talent that you have, and if Polanco can run, then I would tell him, "Hey, man, you need to get your legs in better shape so we can go out and do this." He's not playing center field; he's playing on the corner, and if he's getting hurt running, then he needs to get his legs in better shape to be able to do that. Now, I'm not saying he's got to run, like a quote unquote, like a Jose Reyes, 50, 60 times or whatever. But, 20, 25, 30 opportunities, they present themselves, they can come up to be 5 or 6 runs that may be the difference in, 4 or 5 games on their schedule or their, in their wins and losses. So, that's the one thing I never understood is, like, how can you take away a skill that a guy has by telling him that he could possibly get hurt? Like that, you can't do it. You can't play the game like that. All you can do is put your body in the best possible position and shape to go out to assume the job that you can do. I always thought about that because, that was a part of my game, and it was a weapon. So I had to make sure that it was, he use it. So you're gonna tell him don't go to first, third either, or don't try to get a double. So you're telling the guy not to use a part of his asset of his game to protect him from something that you think that you could possibly do.
Mike, who do you got winning the World Series this year?
Wow.
Put you on the spot right there.
Yeah, you did, man. You put me on the spot. Obviously, I can't really say. I mean, obviously, the top tier teams that you got you almost got to put Houston at the top, because they are the champs, and they didn't seem to lose anyone. But we all know that every year is different, and that's why it's unbelievable. You got the Cubs, and obviously the National League. You got Washington. They may be able to turn the corner this year. They've been on the chopping at the bit. You got LA. You got and then out in the American League, you got Boston. You got New York. You got these guys that can, with the pitching they got. Anything is possible, man. So I don't know, to be honest with you, until the season starts to play out, because we know that things change with injuries and career years and guys haven't put together good years all together. And when you can do that, man, it's obviously it's going to come down to pitching to when these guys are able to do it. And then you can't forget about the Cleveland Indians, and let's see who else I think that could possibly make a run of this thing. It looks like the Angels are starting to get themselves together, and obviously it has a lot to do with the health of their ball club, with the pitching staff, and a lot with Mr. Pujols.
And how about those Yankees, man?
No doubt about it, man. You can't never count them out, because they can always just, go and get a top-tier player, if they feel like they're close. Because they went to Game 7 against the Houston Astros, and adding Mr. Giancarlo is going to be definitely something special for those guys. And it's going to be a lot of ugly days for some pitchers when they're facing against the Yankees lineup, because I mean we added Giancarlo, but I've also you got Sanchez and a couple other big guys in that lineup, man. They can do some major damage over the course of the season.
For sure.
Yeah, well, Mike, thank you so much. You were a great guest. Appreciate all the help you did. Best of luck to your son, Daz, man. We're going to be watching his career, too. And, when he gets that special call-up, man, we'll definitely reach out to you, and it'll be a special day for you as well. So good luck with that. Thank you for joining us, and we'll catch up with you soon.
No doubt, fellas. Enjoy, man. I know it's kind of chilly around there where y'all at and everything, and it's about 65 here in Georgia, so we're going to try to enjoy the weather. But I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to it, definitely.
Yeah, we had a snowstorm, so, thanks for rubbing it in. But when we watch the baseball down in Florida, at least it gets us a little bit ready for baseball season. So thank you so much. And you live in Georgia, and I'm a Braves fan, so, maybe they confuse you. They're a little rough right now, man.
Yeah, but they're coming, man. They got some talented boys. Hopefully hopefully they continue to build on the things that they've done, man. Yeah, hopefully they do that.
All right. Well, thank you so much for a few minutes. Mike Cameron, everybody, former Major League All-Star, Gold Glove Award winner, joining us on Over the Top Sports.